But welcome everybody. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button.
I remember in middle school when you felt self-conscious if you were the last one to go through puberty. That really went topsy-turvy, didn't it?
Sometimes the house it's too much explaining yourself and it's too apologetic.
Be sure to hit the notifications bell.
I actually do believe Israel won't just bomb countless civilians.
Be sure to tweet this out. Be sure to put this up on your Facebook.
You have to be kind to people. Being kind is the guys in this mess in the first place.
Put this up on your Reddit.
Chile is a country.
Be sure to cut and paste, a link to this to go into your favorite Facebook chat group.
It's good to see so many normal people in here.
Now, spanking isn't just my deep, dark personal secret. It's America's deep, dark secret.
I've never seen it explained so simply anywhere.
Put this on WhatsApp. Put this on Telegram. Put this on your favorite messenger app.
Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. I'm your host at Untitled Anarchist Seagull, called Elise. Sorry I'm a bit late, chat. For some reason, maybe I just misread my computer clock, but I was sure it said 23:13. So I went up to make a cup of tea, because it's been a bit of a long day. A nice day, but a long one. I wanted to just wake myself up a little bit, because I am a little bit tired. And it turned out, actually, it was, in fact, 11:28. And then it took like 6 minutes to brew the tea and stuff, so I'm a few minutes late. Hope everybody's doing well. How you doing, chat? I thought we might start out with some more Matt Walsh. AI just made a #1 country song, and it's terrifying. And the thumbnail, if you can see it, might be too small on your screen. It says, it sounds so real. And yeah, the reason for that is that, like, since 9/11, so much country music really just sounds like it was AI generated in the first place. But I thought we might start out with that, because apparently it's terrifying. Hey, Badger, how you doing?
Barons.com reports a country music song.
Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust, an artist with no identity but widely reported by U.S. media to be powered by generative AI technology, made it to the top spot on Billboard's magazine's chart ranking digital sales of country songs, according to data published Monday. Wow, I mean, imagine finding out that fucking, being like an actual country singer and finding out that AI slop actually is capable of replacing what you do, since these days, like, post 9/11 country music is a little bit of racism, a little bit of flags. Basically, it's a party political broadcast for, like, Republicans and shit. And, I mean, the songs are indistinguishable. But okay. Matt Walsh finds it terrifying. He finds lots of things terrifying. Matt Walsh is just kind of... he scares easily, Matt Walsh does.
Featuring a male singer's voice generated by artificial intelligence reached the top of the U.S. charts for the first time this week. Walk My Walk by Breaking Rust, an artist with no identity but widely reported by U.S. media to be powered by generative AI technology, made it to the top spot on Billboard magazine's chart ranking digital sales of country songs, according to data published on Monday. AI-generated songs are creeping on the music charts in various scenes, and country music is no exception.
A uniquely American genre made famous by artists like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, and Garth Brooks. And it's like, yeah, I mean, and the fact that quite a few, several of those are really nothing like what post 9/11 country music ended up being, it really tells you everything about why AI can so quickly, just replace the genre.
Allegedly, this is like a hit song now, and we've heard this story before, by the way, about AI songs that, they're big hit songs, they're topping the charts, and a lot of times that has turned out to be not exactly true. In this case, I think...
Yeah, I mean, not exactly true is generally true enough for Matt Walsh, let's be honest.
But before we talk about that, let's play, just so you know what we're talking about, and I know you're curious, as I was.
Okay, we're gonna hear some clanker country.
Here is this.
Breaking Rust is really a good name for like a clanker that makes like fake country music. Because, I mean, that just fits.
AI song, listen to it.
Been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive.
Like, I mean, this is just so many just commonplaces here. I mean, all of these lines could be good within like a legit song, but it's just one platitude after another. Which is what AI does. It's why it's so easy to actually recognize like clanker writing, because all it does is use the most cliched shit ever.
They said slow down, boy, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past.
Wait, slow down, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past. Like, that doesn't actually make sense. But I mean, again, this is a genre that is not known for making sense at this point.
Keep moving forward, never looking back, with a worn out hat and a 6-string strap. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing.
Yeah, like, this just sound, I mean, it's just like cliches. It's all cliches. Like, I could probably write better lyrics like right now if I actually felt inclined to do so. I think anyone probably could write better lyrics than that right now, because it's like literally all cliches.
Okay. So, that's the song. It sounds real in that it does sound like a human singing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it took an extremely dark turn. It's not that it's never been my genre, really, though there's some country singers I have time for. But I mean, like, Dolly Parton has some good songs, and like Johnny Cash, obviously, and there's a lot of overlap when it comes to like folk music and stuff like that. And I've got a lot of time for folk music, but country really has never been my genre. But I just remember so much like just really not particularly veiled KKK shit showing up in the country genre in the early 2000s. Like, Toby Keith had this song, it's like, beer for my horses, whiskey for my men, and it's about it's about a fucking lynching. And the interesting thing is that he was singing this to like celebrate the U.S. invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan, if I remember correctly. And he was saying, these are like lynchings, which makes them good. And it's like, I mean, I was following you halfway in there.
That's the scary part. If I heard that, I mean, it sounds like a person. AI music, even. I mean, we did a segment where we played AI songs, I don't know, less than a year ago, and they sounded like AI. And this...
I mean, well, except... Yeah, all it's doing is copying vocalizations. That's not actually... I mean, that's... Like, I wouldn't know how to write that, to be clear, but that isn't actually that impressive. Like, you can make a fucking computer synthesizer, you know, a synthesizer sound like whatever you want. I've got a synth keyboard here with all sorts of plugins. I can make that shit sound like the string section of the BBC Orchestra if I want to, because there's a free plugin for the BBC Orchestra and you can actually play their string section, and actually it really rocks. But yeah, that is not actually that hard. It's like, but the lyrics, very clearly, there's just nothing there. Except within this genre, there's so much nothing at this point. I mean, you just make some... you add some shit about, like, having a truck and a drinking problem, and you've got, like, 90% of the fucking songs, and then you add some racism and maybe some, like, flags and shit, because that always goes, you know, some flags in churches, and, you know, because fascism gets wrapped in a cross and a flag and shit. But yeah, I mean, getting the voice to sound halfway decent is not actually hard. It's the lyrics are just utterly... The lyrics are nothing.
This does not. I mean, it sounds like a person. It's also totally soulless and empty. I mean, it sounds like a song from like a Jeep Wrangler commercial or something.
Well, you're like describing again that he's just describing the post 9/11 country genre. It is empty and soulless and it perfectly adapted to like car commercials.
It's like a song from a network TV. It's like the soundtrack of a network TV cop show that plays at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday on CBS, like that kind of thing. Totally devoid of any artistry or soul or meaning.
Was he just dissing Barry Weiss there?
Or human talent. And yet, allegedly, this song is some kind of hit. And as I said, I've heard these claims before. Oh, it's a hit song made by AI, topping the charts. And often it turns out to not exactly be true. But
yeah, I would like to see them try to do that in a genre where people are actually used to some more substance. Like, you know, wake me when a fucking clanker song actually tops the folk punk charts or something. Let me see. I mean, because I don't see that happening, because people are looking for actual substance in the song there, and this technology is not capable of providing it.
So I looked up this quote-unquote artist on Spotify. It has over 2 million monthly views on Spotify, apparently.
So, what does a monthly view for an artist mean, though? Does that mean that Spotify, like... And the thing is, these platforms often keep their cards very close to their chest in terms of what these metrics actually mean. Like, that could just mean it gets served in people's shuffles or something like that. Not that they're necessarily going out of their way to request it.
2 million. Or listeners, rather. 2 million monthly listeners.
I mean, Matt Walsh... Oh, let me see. How many subscribers does he have? Matt Walsh has 3.34 million fucking subscribers. Like, that is... so, I mean, the standard is low.
Spotify. Which is deeply depressing.
Clanker is apparently an insulting term people have started using for, like, robots and Gen AI bullshit.
It is an outrage, honestly.
This is interesting to me, because in my experience, it is almost entirely right-wingers who have been keeping, like, Gen AI alive. They're the ones that really use it. Yeah, they make generic slop, and it's, like, generic slop that almost certainly plagiarized off somebody. Although in this case, those lines are probably, like, you probably would not be able to say that they plagiarized any one of those lines off of a single artist, because so many of them have used all of them. That's why they're cliches. Everybody says that stuff.
I hate everyone who listened to this song unironically. Everyone who listened to it.
Yeah, like, he's probably talking about his audience here.
Curiosity, as we just did. But anyone who's like an actual listener. And I found this on YouTube, and there were comments. And even many of the comments are probably bots and AI, so who knows what's real anymore.
Well, I mean, I wonder whose fault it is that so many people have trouble knowing what's real. Matt Walsh, the guy who's got 3.34 million subscribers on YouTube, just out of the purpose, out of his career, just lying to people. That's like all he does, and performing outrage at just people existing. I wonder why it is that nobody knows what's real anymore. Could it be that there's so much money spent on, like, meat clankers like Matt Walsh?
The world we live in. But there were a lot of comments saying, "No, this is actually pretty good. This is not too bad. I kind of like this."
Well, yeah, because, I mean, it's a genre where a lot of people have been served slop for a long time. And, like, look at what happened. Look at how they did Lil Nas X. Yeah, just from the start of his career, practically. I mean, because he brought something into the genre that the genre, like, lacked. I mean, he brought a lot of things into it that it lacked, but one of them was just substance. Like, it was actually just substance. It was something that hadn't been sung a million times in very slight variations. So, of course, people who, like, lap up to fucking Toby Keith and the rest of them, why wouldn't they eat this right up?
Like an actual fan of this soul-sucking AI dystopian slop,
It's so weird to hear him saying this, because, like, this is me talking about, like, his viewers.
Well, I don't hate. I don't hate you. Hate is too strong a word. I'm Christian. I don't hate anybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that, like, white Christians have never done, it's hate people. They're really good about not being hateful. And Matt Walsh, he is really he's just such an example of a guy who just doesn't hate anybody. He would never, like, celebrate people's deaths because they happen to have a gender he didn't like or anything like that. Yeah, of course, he's just such a loving man. I mean, I'm just reminded of somebody was talking, it was some asshole posting on Twitter, I mean, which is shocking that assholes are on Twitter, posting about, like, people going, seeking out assistance from churches because they couldn't get their SNAP benefits during the shutdown and everything, and just saying a bunch of really hateful shit. And then somebody replied, there really is no hate quite like Christian love, and that's a mood. That's about right, yeah. But, okay, go on.
So hate is not the word. I find you, if you would listen to that and say, "Ooh, this is pretty good."
They listen to you and say, "Ooh, it's pretty good." Like, their standards are not exactly high, Matt.
Too bad at all. Hey, why not? AI music just as good as any other. Who cares if it was made by an algorithm?
Like, I mean, I think the reason... See, I'm actually kind of surprised a little bit at this take from him. But thinking about it, I can understand it. Because the kind of stuff that he makes, this kind of reactionary fash slop that he makes, that, like, Tim Pool makes, that Joe Rogan makes, that all of these assholes make, would be so easy to replace with Gen AI. It would, like, you could just fire Matt Walsh right now and have a fucking Gen AI deep fake him, and none of his viewers would know the difference.
Who cares if some soulless algorithm is just pumping this into my empty skull? It's not too bad. I mean, I don't hate you. I don't. But
it really sounds like you do, Matt.
I resent you. I have no respect for you. But I don't hate you.
God. Well, I mean, we've seen what he applauds, though, so I don't know if that's necessarily much of an insult.
I hate AI. That I do hate. If I could commit an AI genocide, I totally would. In the future, if there are AI robots walking around, everybody thinks they have souls, even though they don't and they never can.
I mean, on a certain level, this surprises me, just because I really would not expect this take out of him. And because, I mean, on certain levels, I really fucking... You don't have to hand it to this guy. He's a white supremacist, theocratic, fascist piece of shit. But, I mean, what he's saying about AI just isn't wrong. It's just ironic coming from him, because he's part of why there's so many people who can eat this stuff, who, you know, I don't know how many people there are who can eat this stuff up, but he's certainly cleared the ground, because he's just, all he does, it's just Nazi slop.
I will be like the bad guy in the movie.
You already are the bad guy in the movie, though.
An evil plot to just kill them all.
Motherfucker, that's literally what you are, except, like, with trans people. You already are the bad... Like, is this self-awareness? Is Matt Walsh becoming conscious? Because, like, is this... He is, like, so close. He's, like, a half of a thought away from Are We the Baddies? Because this is literally, like, his entire fucking career.
I will be an anti-AI Genghis Khan, just killing entire countries worth of these robots. An anti-AI Pol Pot. Yes, an anti-AI Hitler. I'll finally be... All the people calling me Hitler will finally be proven right.
I mean, we already were. I mean, I haven't actually called him that, but I sympathize with anyone who does. Because I mean, honestly, his ideology is close enough. At a certain point, the distinctions are really too fine to matter for practical purposes.
As I carry out my genocide of the robots.
In addition to the, like, real genocides that he's a big enthusiastic supporter of.
Of course, I'm saying all of this, so what that actually means is that I'll be the first person that the robots come and kill or incite.
Oh, well, in which case, see, I really hate to say critical support for the robots, but robots, let me just say, that's Sarah Connor right there. On the screen right now, that is Sarah Connor.
So I'll never get a chance. This is all just a fantasy that will never actually happen. What will really
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I agree. Matt Walsh getting killed by robots is a fantasy. I wonder just how many people have had it.
While I'm eating my breakfast, they'll just an AI drone will snipe me through the window, and that's what's actually going to happen. So,
I mean, the funny thing is, there's a Doctor Who episode that Bridget Empire did a video on. Let me see if I can find it, because it was really good. Well worth checking her out if you haven't already. I'm gonna dig up the link to that and drop it in chat. It's called Dot and Bubble or something like that. The episode of Doctor Who, and basically Doctor Who. Here we go, yes. Doctor Who and the Fascist Platforming Problem. I'm dropping this link in chat. It is a really good video. I highly recommend it. Bridget Empire, I quite enjoy. In general. She's also, her most recent video is also well worth talking about, watching and talking about the challenges of getting the hell out of one's country when one realizes that one's government is trying to kill one and make life impossible. She left Britain because just the level of transphobic incitement was off the charts then. It's worse now. She went to Croatia, which didn't seem to go very well. Apart from everything else, the thing about Croatia is it is kind of full of fash. And so she's going back with all sorts of mixed feelings and a fair bit of dread, and she did a video on that. And the, difficulties of, just, the emotional difficulties of both of those choices and everything. And very good. But this one that I just linked is hilarious. So, Doctor Who and his companion find out that there's this planet, and people are getting eaten by these giant slug monsters. And these people are, extremely online on a level that nobody is now. They have a GPS that tells them how to, walk to the bathroom. And so you think that's what the show's about for most of the time. Except the thing is, actually, it's a planet full of just straight-up white supremacists. This is hinted at throughout the episode as they're getting eaten by the slugs. And at a certain point you realize, actually, maybe the slugs aren't the monsters after all. And that's Matt Walsh.
I hate it. Of course, I'm saying all of this, so what that actually means is that I'll be the first person.
I mean, the reason I was reminded of it is that one of the white supremacist assholes who are extremely online on this planet actually gets sniped by sort of an AI drone, because it turns out the AI that runs everything on the planet has become sentient, has had a look at the people that populate the planet, has decided that they are absolutely horrible and intolerable and they should not exist, and it has taken it upon itself to rid the planet of them, in part through slugs, in part through other means.
That the robots come and kill or enslave, so I'll never get a chance. This is all just a fantasy that will never actually happen. What will really happen is that while I'm eating my breakfast, they'll just, AI drone will snipe me through the window. And that's what's actually...
I mean, what's really also fucked up about this, when I think about it, is, he's talking about this. A fucking scenario here. And it's he's just sort of describing life in Gaza with that example. I mean, that is not... except it's his fucking dark fantasy of what the AI will do to him. It's literally what's being done to Palestinians in Gaza even now with the so-called
AI
ceasefire.
music is the death of the soul. AI art is impossible. It can't exist. AI can kill art. It can wipe it out.
I don't think it can even do that, to be honest. If anything, my impression is that it has inspired more people to create just to try to stop it flooding the zone with this soulless slop.
But it can't do art. It can't perform or produce art. And that's because art is all about what it means to be human.
I will say, as somebody who's never been all that much of a graphic artist, part of what really kind of... There were a number of things that made me decide to, start drawing comics occasionally. But the fact that there's all this, fucking Gen AI bullshit out there actually did kind of make me... That just made me want to provide some actual art on the internet, just as an antidote.
Like we said yesterday,
even if it isn't
is the creation
the greatest
of
graphic art you've ever seen.
It conveys meaning. You can't have beauty without meaning.
Which is why you cannot have beauty on the Matt Walsh YouTube channel.
And algorithms cannot create beauty or convey meaning.
Biting the hand that feeds them much?
Algorithms have no minds. They have no soul. They have no consciousness. So when I think about this possible future, which is coming, it's coming faster than even I thought.
What's interesting, actually, is that there are a lot of indications that the AI bubble is getting ready to pop. Because... it turns out a lot of the transactions in this sort of AI sector of the tech universe, it's just companies paying for huge amounts of services they never use. It's like they're just massive cash transfers just to keep the whole thing afloat. At the same time, there are indications of like model collapse in the fairly near future as LLMs feed off of AI slop in order to train themselves and just end up becoming even more clankery than they were to begin with.
With AI art in particular. I mean, if we're already at the point where one of these AI quote-unquote artists has 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Which, again, what does that mean? But he has 3 million subscribers, and that's actually rather concerning. I'm going to switch over. Let's see, what have we got? Oh, okay, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to, just a bit more Matt Walsh. He made a movie that I could have made much shorter. It's called Am I Racist? And, I mean, obviously it's just... I mean, the answer is just kind of yes, that it's a 10-second movie. But apparently he wants to clear the air about it and talk about the making of his racist-ass movie.
A level of dread and concern that things were about to blow up in our faces.
Just had to ask who you are. Because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
Every 30 seconds are like, oh my gosh, are we exposed? Are we done?
Remind me of your name again?
Steven.
Steven? Yeah?
We had no right to pull off what we pulled off.
I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about in that clip. I don't even know who that is, but I'm gonna guess that probably is true.
Marking. That was a robust slate right there. This film came together in the aftermath of What is a Woman?
Which was just another fucking genocidal propaganda flick. Which is why it's a little bit interesting to hear him talk about talk about like genociding AI and immediately saying, oh, that would make him kind of Hitler-y, when he talks about genociding people and advocates genociding people a lot. And that doesn't register for him.
What If Woman was a big success and accomplished a great deal. I think we were all...
I mean, it wasn't, but by their standards, I suppose it was.
For that film.
You put out a podcast and everybody forgets about it by tomorrow, and you got to do it again. What is Woman? It was my first time helping to create something that had an impact that lasted for longer than a day, months.
And and the impact was just harming trans people, because he's not hateful. He's a Christian, remember, so he doesn't hate people.
Years later now, people are still talking about that film.
Oh, like talking about that film. Like, first of all, actually, I have to say, it's been a while since I heard anyone talking about that film. Second of all, if people still talk about what a piece of shit the movie Ishtar was.
Came out, we were done, we were proud of it, and all of a sudden, I'm just seeing it every single day on every app that I'm on.
Well, maybe that's because the algorithm has just decided that you're a right-wing ghoul and all you want to do is see transphobic fucking propaganda.
Instagram Reels and all these different social media sites. I thought, we got to do something else. We have to keep the momentum going.
I think we realized that we didn't want to just limp in with a sophomore effort. Like, we had to kind of go bigger.
Like, I love how these people are talking like they're actual filmmakers and not just making right-wing propaganda for a niche audience of people who actually will willingly listen, apparently, to clanker country.
They said they want to do a movie about race. Honest to God, like my first gut reaction, I didn't say it out loud, but was hell no.
This was, summer of 2020 when whole cities were being burnt down over race. And
whole cities were being burnt down. I don't remember whole cities being burned down. I do remember like people defending themselves against racist police terror.
How we're gonna do race, it was just as hot as the subject of transgenderism was when we did what is it?
Transgenderism.
I didn't think it was dangerous. I mean, it is in a way. Obviously, it's provocative.
Like, it is easily the least fucking dangerous thing for a well-funded far-right propagandist to do.
But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the dangerous topics.
Like, let us know when you find one. God, the more I look at his beard, the more I wonder if it's real.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed if some...
Wow, that actually says a lot. I mean, it's because, like, I grew up in the 90s, too. I wouldn't be surprised if he and I are roughly the same age and grew up in the same 90s. And I thought a lot about it. Because the subject was actually kind of front and center a lot of the time. Racism. So he's just mostly telling us that he grew up in a very sheltered fucking existence.
But he was black or white or Mexican or whatever, but...
Mexican, yes, the race of Mexican.
Seemed to matter that much.
Maybe it's because of the time and place I was raised, LA, 80s and 90s. When I was a teenager,
the fucking 1990s started out with the LA uprising after the beating of Rodney King and the acquittal of the cops who did it, despite it being on film. So, like, you're telling me you didn't hear anything about racism? Like, and then the OJ trial, Christ. Like, the OJ trial, there was a whole fucking not particularly rewarding public discourse on race, since we don't want to say racism, because then we'd be naming the problem. Around that. So, like, he didn't think about these things in the 90s? Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I didn't want to die of AIDS, but I wanted to be easy.
I was taught and brought up to not see race as an issue. So I didn't really know that it was as big of an issue.
Wow, that is so remarkable. Candy Pruitt, white official Karen of the fucking production staff.
That people were making it out to be.
That's how we...
Well, I mean, if Candy Pruitt thinks that maybe racism isn't that big of an issue, I mean, I would be inclined to think that maybe she has a point. Because clearly she would be facing the brunt of it if it was an issue. Like, wait, the guy said I wanted to be Eazy-E. Like, what the fuck were they rapping about? Yeah, what the fuck was Eazy-E rapping about? What were NWA rapping about? You talking about you didn't hear anything about race in the 1990s?
Deal with racism, we just say, oh, it's not happening.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, the more you are blatantly acknowledging race. And if you want to forget about it, you need to shut up.
What I guess made it dangerous to me in terms of trying to make a movie about it is...
Nothing. It literally was not dangerous to him. He made a bunch of money off of it because he's funded by fascist billionaires.
That it's so big. So figuring out, you can't just make a movie. You just say, well, we're making a documentary about race. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I mean...
Like,
one of the first videos
nobody's expecting much out of you.
have with Justin, he just talked about his interest in...
Wow, this is what Kirby morphed into. Kirby used to just be a sphere. Now Kirby produces racist movies.
Doing this kind of DEI stuff that was happening was getting bigger and bigger.
Black, Latino, and indigenous people are suffering and dying.
Violent. White supremacy.
White
Entitled.
We've got to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, which is just wild. Like, we're supposed to... They spliced all those clips together to make it look like... this was the sort of thing that she talked about. She, like... Kamala Harris was never on the right side of that shit.
I put my name on What is a Woman. Prior to that, I'd worked on a lot of things that were progressive in nature because I'm freelance, so people call me, ask me to do jobs. I filmed Obama in the Oval Office.
Oh wow! I mean, that's very. He filmed Obama. That's very progressive. Wow, he probably would have voted for Obama 3 times if he'd had the chance to.
Or a media outlet that is very liberal. I'm not gonna.
A media outlet that is very like he won't say the name of it.
Say it blacklisted me, but it's very likely that they're gonna say, "Oh, Anthony's working on that type of project."
Well, yeah, we're on fascist slop.
He's not gonna be working on our projects anymore.
Oh, and they absolutely should.
I still had one foot in Hollywood and had concerns about my livelihood and would I be hired again in Hollywood if my name was associated with this film.
We need to stop.
And she probably didn't have to worry, but like really nobody apart from everything else is just a piece of shit. Like he's incapable of making a good film because he doesn't have good ideas. He has shitty ideas.
Being nice about racism, because
I mean, this whole thing so far is them just talking about how supposedly dangerous it was. They haven't given any examples. They haven't given any examples of any actual negative fallout that meant anything. It's just, I was really nervous about making this movie. I was just really nervous I might get, blacklisted, which would be and, it's all just completely, so far, it's just all in their head. They have not given a single example of this actually having any effect at all.
thing has been advanced by being nice.
You have to come at it with a lot of humility. These are massive topics we're going on.
That's absolutely one thing that Matt Walsh is known for. It's how much fucking humility he brings to things. So viel ich weiß, erhält jetzt schon ziemlich viel von der AfD.
After and powerful people we're going after.
The thing that became very apparent to us was we wanted to do a comedy. We knew we were taking on these tough issues.
Oh God! Okay, this was supposed to be that explains his weird hair, because that's how right wingers do comedy. They don't seem to actually understand how it works, so they just do shit like this.
They're hard for people to talk about. So we really felt like humor was the way that we could kind of pick the lock, get our message across, and actually have people listen.
What is your message?
I have a petition. We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. We're talking about painting it black. We're going to raise it 30%, increase in the.
Like, wow. I mean, that's so profound.
You're trying to battle in common sense and facts and being serious about something.
Yeah, that's such a fascinating edit to go from that scene just now to trying to be serious about something. Oh, hey, Riveroon. Didn't think I noticed you in there.
Truth is hilarious. And I think that the truth speaks for itself best in comedy of all forms.
Well, I mean, and it's great. They have, like, one black dude in the entire production. I'm surprised they even had one, to be honest. But this is boring me, so we're gonna see what else we got. We haven't seen Xander Hole in a bit, and he's also
as a whole
involved in some dodgy dark money bullshit as well. The Progressive Victory Project, which apparently Brianna Wu is associated with, the like trans Stella Goldschlag, and she's having the same sort of, she's having a Ben Shapiro moment at the moment. Brianna Wu is, because she's realizing that she spent all this time sucking up to Nazis, and it turns out that Nazis just don't think trans people should exist, even if they do glaze Nazis.
He impressed me a lot the last month and a half. this government shutdown, in a lot of ways, has been a struggle, but the only reason it has been a struggle is because of the Republicans. At every point, the Republicans have had the opportunity to manually approve funding for the programs that Americans rely on to live a normal everyday life. And in front of the country, they chose not to fund these programs so they could keep using the shutdown as a way to attack Democrats.
Which didn't work. Everybody, like, literally everybody fucking blamed Trump for it, obviously, because the thing is, like, and Trump, there's this idea that some people have that he actually has some kind of credibility, even though polls have never really shown that. If he says something, he could stand out on a sunny day at 12 noon and say, the sun is out, and people would immediately look up at the sky just to check whether that's true.
Within the convention of Democrats, about these 7 who sided with Republicans to reopen the government.
It was 8, and it turns out, I mean, it just happened to be 8 who were completely safe and would not experience any fallout from it, because either they're not running again or they're not running for years. And, of course, it turns out that, yeah, the Democrats actually planned this in advance. It's been admitted at this point.
Finally starting to see the Democrats come together, recognize the Republicans are a problem, that we cannot just go high when they go low, that we need to use their methods against them, such as shutting down the government.
Wait a second, except, this is wild. Okay, for a second I was beginning to think maybe he said this. That he said this before they had actually decided to cave on the shutdown in exchange for nothing. But he's saying this afterwards.
And refusing to hold a vote to reopen. These methods are things Republicans have done to great success for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, except the thing is, the operative word here is to great success, Zanderhole. Because they actually get concessions out of it. As opposed to nothing.
And these 7 Democrats fucked it up for
8.
But
no, they didn't fuck it up. They literally did what they were supposed to do.
Keep in mind, that's just 7 Democrats.
Oh, no it isn't.
And let's be real, a couple of those Dems only ran as Dems against a Republican because they come from, like, reddish or purplish states.
I mean, Charlie Schumer actually blessed this.
And so they're basically Republicans that ran as Dems so they could run against the Republican?
And, well, except that would be great, except that the Dems allowed that. They don't have to allow that. I mean, it's the same thing, like, they don't have to let anyone run in their primary.
Like, some of these Democrats are Democrats in name only.
Oh, we're doing this again.
And they are proud of it, you know, especially, like, modern Fetterman.
Oh, because, see, Fetterman, he was so based at some point that nobody can quite mention. Nobody can quite pinpoint. He used to be so based back when nobody knew what he stood for.
Nonetheless, they are now the ones who are the black sheep of the party.
No, they're not. There's absolutely no evidence. It's called the rotating villain. Like, we've been through this. In fact, the people that were on... that did this, that were selected to be the ones to do this, and they've done it before. Like, literally, this is a standard strategy.
The rest of the party wants to oust. And
no, they don't. Like, if they wanted to oust them, why haven't they?
Anybody who isn't like them. Perhaps, maybe, we could see more progressive candidates, such as Mamdani. You know, the next, like, Zoran Mamdani could end up being elected into their place. But these senators...
Based on what?
Fucked us over big time. And that is what we're going to be learning about today. And we're also going to be learning about the Democrats' moves to, well, more or less, like, oust these Democrats that...
They have not done anything, actually. Because there's literally nothing that can be done. These people were all picked because there was no fault. They would face no consequences.
That went against the plan. I know that we're not, like, big fans of the Democratic Party on the left at all times, but this
yes, hello, fellow leftists.
Is actually a sign that what many leftists have criticized the Dems for being unwilling to do is actually starting to happen. Like, the Dems are actually starting to take fighting fascism and gaining power in order to institute serious progressive...
He says this after the Dems fucking cave. They've literally done nothing. In fact, they've done less than nothing because they, like, showed that they have leverage, and then they just, like, decided to throw it away.
Change seriously in a way they haven't before, and that is a big deal. Like,
it is so amazing to hear him saying this now of all times. I could understand somebody saying this before the vote came down and the shutdown ended in exchange for nothing, but to do this afterwards, that is a choice.
Democratic Party is actually starting to become a party where progressive politics are feasible.
Citation needed.
And through the Democratic Party, if this is the case, progressive politics can become feasible throughout all of America, maybe.
Like, this is what, like, can he give some example?
We can hope, right? We can hope.
Yeah, I guess we could hope. I mean, and give money to dickheads like Xander Hole who grift off of people hoping that Lucy is going to hold the football for them this time. Or we could actually do what we know actually has some chance of succeeding. Like, because this isn't exactly... Okay, even leaving aside the fact that there's no evidence that the Democrats are taking progressive politics seriously. This, if anything, this past week has been proof that they're not. That they actually just don't give a shit. But they've done this all before. We went through this in like 2016 to 2020.
If you end up enjoying this video, by the way, leave a like.
In the unlikely event that you end up enjoying this video,
comment down below. Helps the video a ton. Hype it up with the hype button. And consider subscribing, only if you want to see more from me, though.
Which is why I have not subscribed.
Don't subscribe just because you like my takes, okay?
Don't worry.
If you don't want to see my stuff in the future, leave a like and a comment, and go on with your life. But only subscribe if you want to see more. But that said, let's continue.
That is such a weird thing to say. I've never heard anyone give a disclaimer about subscribing to their channel before.
7 Democrats and an independent just torpedoed everything. They just gave in without getting the one thing they've been demanding for the past 40 days. Well, I'm actually going to be talking about...
Millions of Americans are going to see their once affordable health care, thanks to Obama, go up in...
I mean, not... Actually, the reason that it keeps on going up every year is because there's absolutely no cap on it. The way the entire system is set up is that the insurance companies can just keep on charging whatever fantasy numbers they want, and they get subsidies to cover it. It's like the reverse of the way in-work benefits work, like where essentially bosses are not paying enough to allow their workers to eat, and so their workers get SNAP, or their workers get like tax credits and stuff like that, which is nominally a subsidy to help the worker survive, but it is really a subsidy to allow the employer to pay starvation wages. I mean, and it is the exact same thing with these subsidies for the ACA, because the insurance companies are under no obligation to charge reasonable rates, or even any enforceable obligation to provide the contracted services. But they can keep on upping their rates with any excuse they want.
Price 4, 5, maybe even 6 times. Their insurance premiums are going to become unpayable.
See, I actually wonder if that's likely to happen, because the thing is, if that happens, a lot of people just won't pay them because they won't be able to, and the people who lose money off of that are the insurance companies who were getting, because if you're not paying, if people aren't paying their premiums and there isn't this tax credit that goes for the premium, the subsidy, then that's just money that the insurance companies lost. And the insurance companies, last I checked, they kind of like to make money. It's kind of the only thing they give a shit about. So and they tend to be kind of powerful in Washington, which is why they still control healthcare despite the fact that most people would love to see them cease to exist. So I am not entirely certain that is what's going. It might happen for a certain amount of time, but I have a feeling the insurance companies will be making their influence felt. They'll probably end up getting a better deal than they already have out of this.
Millions of Americans are about to lose their coverage, all because of these 7 Democrats who all, hilariously enough, they all came out to say, oh no, don't worry, we and the Republicans are going to come together to hold a vote to not fuck over the ACA.
Yeah, and the whole thing was choreographed.
And they're acting as though the Republicans are actually going to let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've been through this. We've seen that this isn't the first time this has happened, Xanderhole. Like, literally none of this is actually new. I mean, okay, shutting down the government is a bit of a novelty. I don't think they've done that before. But all the rest of these moves, we've seen them so many times. We saw this when, I think it was like Kavanaugh. Well, no, it was after, it was actually more than one of the Supreme Court picks, Trump's Supreme Court picks. After Roe got overturned, a bunch of Democrats got really incensed and said, we were lied to in the confirmation hearings. And when you actually look at what they asked on the subject of Roe v. Wade, it turns out they avoided asking point blank whether these nominees at the time would actually overturn Roe if they did, if they actually were seated on the court. But they were acting like, oh, look, I mean, they lied to us. They totally lied to us. And it's like, no, you didn't require them to. All you asked is, what do you think Roe v. Wade is settled law? And at the time, they said correctly at the time that it was. That's not the same thing as saying that it will be settled law if they're on the court. And anybody who knows, I mean, fucking Congress is full of lawyers. Everybody knows that that is a question that's going to be parsed very, very carefully. They do this shit all the time. If you pay attention for any length of time and you don't have the sort of short memory that the propaganda system encourages, then you will notice that these patterns keep repeating themselves.
Like, it's not even going to get seen. It's going to get shot down before it even gets voted on. And they know it. It's just it's an excuse. Yeah, the devil promised us something, and we took their promise. How can you blame us? We believed the devil when he made a promise to us. The devil wouldn't lie. Exactly.
9 members of the Democratic caucus. I'm talking about these 8 because that's the exact number that Republicans ended up needing to break up the filibuster. And because there was actually a Republican holdout, Rand Paul. The main thing, they get the 60 votes, they vote on a package that includes a stopgap funding bill that'll reopen the government through January 30th. Also, the package includes several bills to fund some government operations for the entire fiscal year, which is through September 2026, including agricultural programs, military construction, veterans affairs. Also one of the...
Let's just hope the next biggest shutdown in American history begins on February 1st.
Like, supposedly this video is called Democrats Are Starting to Take Progressive Politics Seriously. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. It wasn't from Michigan, it was Massachusetts. That's where Romney imposed it first. Yeah, I mean, it was literally a Heritage Foundation proposal. And then, actually, the ACA, the ACA was written by, it was actually drafted by a former WellPoint executive. The insurance companies were totally in control of the process of writing that thing. And they made sure that there was absolutely nothing that would inconvenience them in it.
Going to be held. The idea of this vote is an excuse. The Democrats who voted to reopen the government without securing the safety of the ACA have made for why what they're doing is not a blatant betrayal. And no one's buying it.
Well, I mean, yeah, no one's buying it. But again, I'm still not...
There's no guarantee whatsoever that this will clear the Senate, let alone the House. And so immediately, you saw a big backlash inside of the Democratic Party with, for example, people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying, people want us to hold the line for a reason. This is not a matter of appealing to a base. It's about people's lives. People want leaders whose word means something. With many House Dems reportedly talking about supporting primary challengers to their colleagues in the Senate. And on that note, you had Representative Ro Khanna going after Chuck Schumer, even though
party are based.
Like, maybe this would be the time to just say, actually, fuck the ACA, fuck subsidizing these insurance companies. It's time, it's clearly not viable. It's clearly not worked. It actually has not addressed the problem of uninsured people. It hasn't addressed the problem of people being insured and insurance companies just refusing to provide the care that they're paid for. And that the majority of the population would really like to just see a national health service of some sort, some kind of single payer arrangement at the very least, and just fucking say, this is what we're going to do. We've given it a chance, we gave this a chance. It never worked. Instead of trying to fight to restore subsidies that mainly benefit the insurance industry, maybe just scrap it and do the real thing.
And I don't think that
Michigan, Massachusetts, they're both M states that are on a body of water.
I don't think a lot of progressives want to own the fact that, like, the problem people in the Democratic Party is as few as 7 people.
Because that isn't a fact. If the problem was just at 7 people, if that was all the problem, you could just get rid of those 7 people. And it would be over. But the thing is, it's never the same 7 people twice.
I don't think a lot of progressives want to, like, own that. Because
it's not true.
You can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans. What will you fight for? And that, as you had Bernie Sanders criticizing the move not only from a policy perspective, but from a political one. It's saying that this is the exact opposite of what...
That's so weird to hear those things separate out. Those are the same thing.
The Dems should have taken away from their domination on Election Day last week.
And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people.
God, could we stop saying Trumpism? Like, stop trying to make that a thing.
To his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened. So we've got to go forward, do the best that we can to try.
Could you stand still and film this thing? This is, like, low-key making me motion sick.
To protect working class people, to make sure that the United States not only does not throw people off of health care, but ends the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. We have a lot of work to do. But to be honest with you, tonight...
Yeah, and the thing is, like, literally, if it was just 7 people, it wasn't long ago, actually, that the Democrats had a majority in both houses. That was just a couple of years ago. And they could have put through any fucking bill they wanted. And they just used every excuse in the book to avoid doing it. Like, they didn't even talk about doing universal health care because Biden had said on the campaign trail that he would veto it.
Hey, good night.
Bernie definitely wasn't alone in arguing this point of view, especially as most voters, they blame Trump and Republicans for the shutdown. With these 8, they caved just hours after Donald Trump was viciously booed at a Commanders game. Again,
like, literally, this was totally unforced. And, again, Schumer signed off on this.
Those 8, not all.
Yeah, that will be coming out. My reaction to that, I covered that. That'll be coming out as a short tomorrow on YouTube. Because tomorrow's
I can't wait.
Day off, no stream tomorrow. So at 9 a.m., when I normally start stream, my coverage of the Trump mass booing will come out as a short. So
His coverage of the Trump mass booing will come out. I'm so excited. Finally, we're going to get his insights into the Trump mass booing.
Out for that.
Dems are unified in being against this. You had Abigail Spanberger, who just won her election last week, Virginia's new governor-elect, backing the deal. And then with that, one of the state senators, Tim Kaine, who was among those who voted for the deal, Virginia's new governor-elect, backing the deal. And then with that, one of the state senators, Tim Kaine, who was among those who voted for the deal, argued that this move, it's actually the best chance to get the ACA subsidies extended.
Which is wild. That is just a ridiculous thing to say, because obviously it isn't.
Senators know their constituents expect them to vote for it, and if they don't, they can very well be replaced at the ballot box by someone who will. Right, a thing to keep in mind there is that Virginia is home to thousands of federal workers. You also had Jackie Rosen of Nevada, right, another senator who voted for the deal, essentially
another pro-genocide Dem,
arguing that it just wasn't worth trying.
I don't really buy this whole we have to reopen the government because all these federal workers, these poor federal workers, Trump is mass firing all...
Yeah, I mean, okay... Yes, exactly. It is a bullshit argument.
Who have expressed Democrat sympathetic positions. Literally half of the federal government are going to be permanently fired because of their political opinions, and you're arguing we have to reopen the government for the sake of these workers in our federal workforce, who are going, many of them are going to lose their job anyway, and you are
alarming ways to inflict unimaginable pain and suffering on working people. Trump and his Republican cronies on Capitol Hill do not give a damn about hurting working people, and their conduct over the last month has been nothing short of appalling.
I mean, when is it not? But I mean, it's also just a little bit weird to hear Jackie Rosen, who, again, supports genocide, calling anything appalling. Like, she should not have a career anyway. Like, none of, like, literally, if... one of the things I keep coming back to, because it relates to the whole like Dick Cheney death and impunity thing and the video I'm doing on that subject, and one of the things is like we talk about often how things the standards just keep getting lowered because nobody's really imposing any on Democrats. They can see that they can just get away with fucking anything, and at a certain point, we just have to understand that we're the only ones that are going to impose any in one way or another. Like, and none of these motherfuckers should have a career. If they voted yes on any of the fucking genocide funding bills, which almost all of them did, that alone should be just a career ender. I mean, if the rule of law were a thing that existed, it would put them in prison, but since it isn't, at the very least, maybe it could just be the end of them being socially acceptable to be in a room with.
As I'm recording this, not everything is set in stone, but it could take days for a final bill to move through the Senate and the House, which has been out of session since the 19th of September. They'd need to come back to Washington to vote as well, with likely almost every Republican needed to get it passed. And there, while they may ultimately not get much to say in the matter, you had
Democratic voter base right now. There is no better way to tell the DNC, guys, these milquetoast, like Republican pandering candidates are not what the Democratic Party needs. You need to start running more progressive, radical, like, willing to bend the rules just like the Republicans kind of candidates. Maybe not even bend the rules, just kind of
use the fucking rules. But like, does he think the DNC are unaware that right-wing Democrats are unpopular and that ones that actually seem to have, at the very least, some reasonably progressive positions are popular, or are at least more popular than the right-wingers? Like, does he think that they don't know? Does he think somebody needs to go up to him saying, hey guys, you're screwing this up. Maybe if you want to actually get elected, what you need to do is have some candidates that your voters like. I mean, they know this. It is absolutely just silly to be talking about this like this is something that they need to be told.
About the shit that you're not supposed to talk about, quote unquote, in politics. Take, for instance, how much Mamdani was not afraid to criticize America's backing of Israel, no matter how much shit he got for it.
Which is really funny because Xanderhol was actually running propaganda interference for the genocide for quite a bit.
He didn't go full, like, unhinged, like, Nick Fuentes fan or anything like that. He wasn't...
Wait, okay, so that's... Because that is naturally where you go when you talk about, like, anti-Zionism. You immediately conflate it with a neo-Nazi.
Calling for Israel to be, harmed, but, like...
Wait, okay, so if you think that a white supremacist settler colonial regime should be harmed, or say perhaps be replaced by something even just basically decent, then you're like Nick Fuentes? Did he just fucking say that?
He wasn't backing down. Like, when people called him mean things that were
What did they call him?
wrong for criticizing Israel, he continued to criticize Israel. And you know, even so, he didn't let them derail.
On the other hand, he has surrounded himself with Zionists in his transition team.
Topic into a topic on foreign policy, because then again, he is just running to be the mayor of New York. Like, he is not going to be a foreign policy guy, and he says that just as much. He is not going to be a foreign policy guy, and he says that just as much. Like, he has his opinions on the issue, but his concern is the people of New York and their future, not people in Israel overseas, because he is the mayor of New York, and that is the kind of rhetoric that America will see.
Except here's the thing: as the mayor of New York, you're presiding over a police force that trains with the IDF, that trains with Mossad, that has very close relations with the entity and all of its genocidal repressive organs. So that isn't just, like, being mayor of New York. The NYPD is like the only city police department that actually has offices in other countries, and one of the places it has offices is Israel, actually. So being mayor of New York, it's not like being mayor of Peoria.
Swallowed the entire vote. She ate all of the vote in her district. And so much so to the point where even the people in her district who voted Trump also voted for her in mass. Like, she is so popular that even Trump supporters voted for her. The Democrats...
Duffy is saying that some have been speeding up their retirements lately, saying up to 15 or 20 a day are retiring. And then another example is, you know, the more than 42 million Americans who rely on food stamps. They've been helpless as the Trump administration has fought tooth and nail not to give them the aid they qualified for. It's been a whole thing.
They're still not going to get it.
White House first.
And this is why it looks so bad. Because, like, food stamps is... Okay. How do I say this?
Badly, probably, and almost certainly with factual inaccuracies.
The food stamps program is something that millions of Americans benefit from. And while the Republicans might have taken years to show their ass by going after that program and...
What do you mean it taken years? They've been going after that program for a very long time, especially at the state level, because there's a lot of state influence over SNAP, including like what people can use SNAP for. So, like, one of the big things that has been quite popular as a talking point at the state level is proposals to, like, ban using SNAP to buy, like, sweets and stuff. Or ban using SNAP to buy anything but, like, fucking gruel, basically. I mean, this isn't some new thing where they just came up with the idea of going after SNAP. They've been doing it, actually... practically for as long as the program has existed.
Disenfranchising millions of voters. The Democrats could accuse the Republicans of opposing food stamps and wanting to defund it until the cows come home.
I mean, and they would be right, because the Republicans have been doing that, and actually the Democrats haven't been great on it either.
If they're not actually doing anything to stop people from getting their food stamps payments, at that very moment, it falls upon deaf ears.
No, it doesn't. It really, it doesn't, though. But the thing is, everybody who is going to be outraged about the Republicans, and especially about Trump, already is. Because there's just been so much fucking outrage fodder. Like, all they are is just this parade of horrors. And anyone who has been okay with everything up until now is probably going to continue to be okay with it. You're not going to get a whole lot of new supporters by saying, oh, look, the Republicans want to screw over working class people. First of all, because the Democrats are also screwing over people who need benefits. Kicking millions of people off unemployment in order to celebrate the fake end of a real pandemic, that was something. Kicking 25 million people off Medicaid, again, to celebrate the fake end of a real pandemic that continues to this day. That was also one of their choices. Abolishing welfare as we know it was something the Clinton administration bragged about. Like, the reason that the reason that it doesn't actually necessarily help Democrats that much, that Republicans are so mask off about this shit, is that Democrats don't actually really support restoring the social safety net. Not really. Because there really isn't much of one. Like, I mean, we have a mass disabling event in this country with COVID. Huge numbers of people are long-term disabled as a result of it. Not only is nobody in the political class proposing to even have any kind of public health precautions, which should have been going on all along, and if they had been done all along, we wouldn't be dealing with this problem now, really. It would be, at most, a minor worry that we had to keep an eye on, but was under control, or practically eradicated, because it had been eradicated, at least temporarily, in a number of places. But no, they're not doing that. They're not actually proposing restoring the social safety net because they don't want to do that, because the capitalist class will not stand for it. And there is not enough pressure from the working class to make it something that they can sell as a concession. And with that, it is time for me to wrap up for tonight and for this week. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And if you enjoyed the stream, I look forward to seeing you again on Friday at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time right here. Yeah, I'm beginning to think maybe they're actually not that different. Maybe government in a capitalist system is just like an executive committee of the capitalist class to manage their affairs. Have a good night, and see you next